Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your time. Imagine a world where anyone could commit heinous crimes without worrying about severe consequences. A world where murderers, rapists, and terrorists could roam free without fear of punishment. This is a world that no one wants to live in, and yet it is a world that we could be heading towards if we eliminate the death penalty. The death penalty has been a topic of debate for decades, with advocates and opponents clashing on its efficacy and morality. According to the Los Angeles Times, on October 20th, 2020, the death penalty serves as a valuable purpose and should remain an option for prosecutors and juries in appropriate cases. Today, I will argue that the death penalty is a necessary form of punishment for the most heinous crimes because it provides justice for victims and their families, serves as a deterrent for potential offenders, and upholds the rule of law. Firstly, let's look at the problem of eliminating the death penalty. According to the New York Times, on April 1st, 2019, the death penalty should not be abolished because it serves as a necessary punishment for the most heinous crimes, brings closure and justice to victims' family, and provides a deterrent effect. The lack of justice for victims and their families is a significant concern. Families of murder victims suffer greatly and need closure. On July 14, 2022, the New York Times published, "Capital punishment is necessary for justice to be served for murder victims." The article notes, the death penalty must be reserved for the most heinous crimes and the most dangerous offenders. But for those rare cases where punishment is warranted, justice demands that it be available. Furthermore, failure to deter heinous crimes is another problem. Crimes such as mass shootings require severe punishments to prevent them. The possibility of the death penalty can deter potential offenders from committing violent crimes. According to the New York Times, on July 25th, 2019, capital punishment is a necessary tool for justice, and just the existence of the death penalty in a state can lead to lower murder rates. Additionally, on April 1st, 2019, the New York Times mentioned even the possibility of execution can focus the minds of criminals contemplating violence in a way that no other punishment can. Now, let's examine the causes of abolishing the death penalty. Abolishing the death penalty eliminates a crucial element of justice. Many victims and their families consider the death penalty as the only form of punishment. Abolishing it would deprive them of this crucial element of justice. As noted in the Oxford University Press in 2019, the death penalty provides a meaningful form of punishment that is proportionate to the most serious crimes and that is carried out in a way that affirms the value of human life and the moral principles on which our society is based. Moreover, the death penalty is a necessary tool for justice. It serves as a deterrent for heinous crimes and upholds the rule of law by holding the most heinous offenders accountable for their actions. So, what is the solution? The death penalty should remain a necessary punishment. It should be retained and implemented for the most heinous crimes and the most dangerous offenders. The death penalty remains on the books in 30 states, indicating its necessity. We should also use the death penalty judiciously and fairly, and we should ensure that it is not applied in a discriminatory manner. And we should make sure that we use advancements in technology to minimize the risk of wrongful convictions. On July 25th, 2019, the New York Times wrote, "Those who call for the abolition of the death penalty may have good intentions, but they fail to recognize the importance of this tool in the administration of justice. The death penalty is a necessary component of a just society that values human life and holds the most heinous offenders accountable for their actions." In conclusion, the death penalty should remain a necessary tool for justice. It serves as a deterrent for potential offenders and upholds the rule of law. Retaining the death penalty ensures that justice is served for victims and their families, and the most heinous offenders are held accountable for their actions. we must continue to use the death penalty judiciously and fairly, and ensure that it is not applied in a discriminatory manner. The death penalty should remain a necessary tool for justice to serve victims, their families, and to deter potential offenders, as well as upholding the rule of law. Thank you for listening.